oh, he's a weed activist, and he just I wasn't interested. I was interested in her. You feel me? I was more interested, and I had a car. So she was like, "Yeah, I got 2 tickets, and I had nobody to go with." So I went down there, and he played this thing. It's called the what? I've been playing this shit all damn night. Uh, hemp for victory. It was a thing that the government put out
Okay.
in 1942, encouraging people to grow hemp and turn it in. You go get $1. You get your producer of marijuana or hemp license. You produce hemp and go turn it in because it was producing shit for the war, World War II and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I could dig it. I could dig it, brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Hey, man,
So
good to see you, boy. Good to see
what's
you,
up,
man.
man? Yeah, man. Tell the people who you is, man.
Oh, man, I'm just Brother Selassie, man. Brother Selassie, conscious, political, progressive MC out of San Francisco, entrepreneur. Been doing my thing for, almost 20 years, independent, and just happy to still be here representing, man. Hope everything's cool with you, my brother.
It's all love, and hopefully I see you in a couple weeks, about a month or so. I heard they called you back at the Emerald Cup. Congratulations on that. It's gonna be your second year MCing out there. And
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be at the Emerald Cup this year,
can I just
hosting.
can I hey can I just say one thing?
What?
Keep your shirt on this year. Keep your shirt on this year, bro.
Hey, hey, I was out, I was out there. It was at first off, it was hot, number
I
one.
know, I
And
know.
number two, I've been working out a little bit, so I was kind of buff a little bit. So
Yeah, you was out
hey,
there.
I ain't trying to go there, but the ladies was like, they was like, "Oh, I like your shirts off, Selassie." No, I was just
Yeah,
no.
yeah. No, so this is your second year though. They reached back out to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To host one of the stages. Shout out to the Emerald Cup and Tim Blake and the whole camp out there holding it down. For years they've been doing it, representing the Golden Triangle and just holding it down, with really cool events and how they do the Emerald Cup, how they judge the herb, the judging contest and all that. So yeah,
I'm a
I'm
little I'm a little
excited to be
biased.
part of it.
I'm a little biased on that on the judging part. And
Yeah,
since it's
most people are that I meet, you know what I mean, because
well, I was in it.
right, because they are the standard for the judging. So it's like, they are the top of the judging. You can't deny that. Not you, you can't deny that, but I'm just speaking in general. Anybody that
Well,
knows that the Emerald
well,
Cup is the cream de la crop of judging the herb.
well. Can I? Since it's me and you talking, you know what I mean? Can I tell you one thing?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
It was one year I was out there, and I had my CBD.
Uh
Now you tried my CBD?
I have not personally, no.
Okay,
Or if
well,
I did, I can't remember. Shit, I can't
well,
remember
you
what I
nah nah, nah then you
no,
would
I'm
have
just
remembered this because you would have probably said, "Yeah, man, I need some more of that," because that, you know what I mean. So you ain't never had it, but
mhm.
I ended up growing some of the finest CBD. Like, you know what I'm saying? I took it to BAS Research, was like the first um, licensed facility in California that had their license to do extractions. You
Oh,
know,
cool.
Is right there in Berkeley. So yeah, Montel Williams, a whole bunch of people went to them first. And when I
Right.
went, so at the Emerald Cup, that's where I met this lady from Arizona who turned me on to him, because the whole talk of Emerald Cup that week was my CBD oil and the flower.
I could dig it.
Nobody had nobody had seen those numbers tested like that, right?
Uh-huh.
So I mean, brothers, people were walking around to me, just walking up, "Hey man, congratulations! I heard you won." I'm like, bruh, you know how juice I felt, like, you know what I mean, just for them couple of moments, like all them growers out there, and I actually put something that I grew up in my hills and came down here. And that was all me, like, you know what I mean, to really grow. I didn't have no Brad, no Chad, no Darren, no nobody next to me helping me grow. All me, watering up, down. I had indoor, outdoor, the whole nine. You know what I mean? So to get
That's
those, yeah, to get those right. So I'm like, damn. So now here comes Sunday for the judging. So I'm sitting back. Wow, CBD oil. I just know I got it. They don't call my name. Damn, the fuck. Well, the flour, I know my flour, my terpenes was like on CBD was like, I believe like 2.97. I'm like, I mean, I know there's some good terpenes out there, but ain't nobody really got this like this right now on the CBD. You know what I mean? Because like 3% is like phenomenal. You know what I mean? They had like some fours. You know what I mean? I got like, if you know your terpene percentage, but like 3% on some CBD, and that's pretty good. So I'm sitting back, they don't call my name. So I'm like, oh man, this shit rigged. So
yeah,
they,
man.
they release this shit and they only recognize the top three. I placed in the top 10 for my flour. They lost my oil. When I looked at the results of the top three, numbers don't lie. My numbers were like double of what the other cats that won, man. So I am a little biased when it comes to their judging,
Oh yeah.
um, but I'm not biased to the gathering of people that come out there that probably not even judging, just out there, just the energy and the spirit. You know what I mean? So that's
Absolutely.
just a that's just a little personal. You know what I mean? That's like that's not like oh, it did it to my homeboy or I heard. No, that shit happened to me. You know what I'm saying? And then
You know, it'd be like that with anything, man. You know, like even with my contest, like sometimes people don't like the result. You know what I mean? And it's just, and then you can do about that. Like once
I don't like
for
I don't like the results when the top three people are the people that have the biggest booths. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Is that coincidence?
I
You know
don't
what
know. I
I'm
have nothing to do with that. I have no horse in the race. I'm out of that. But I'm just saying, as far as like
saying?
any type of contest or anything like that, you know, it's gonna be somebody to lose, somebody to win. It is what it is. But what's cracking, man?
Man, I'm still talking about the business, brother. He said I
Yeah,
don't want to
man.
talk about the business, huh?
No, I don't talk about that. That's something different. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just going to go host, and we're gonna be there this year, and it's gonna be cool. And shouts out to E40. He's gonna be headlining it. It's a lot of other people coming through there, and it's gonna be a good show, you know, this year. And it was cool even last year. Shouts out to Capadonna, Corrupt, Keek the Sneak came through. It was real big last year too. So this year should be cool too.
I don't get no shout out. I was in the building.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember you was in the building too.
You
Mhm.
crazy? Yeah, man. So now I'm diving back into it. You know what I mean? I done hooked up with a local here. Her name is Zion, an Ethiopian lady who has a restaurant out here, been branded into the community and stuff like that. So, by word of mouth, she got passed on to me. We linked up. She needed a little bit of my finesse and my little experience, and I joined up with her, man. So we just bringing awareness, but you know me, man. I keep it 100. You know where I've been. You know where I come from. You know what I mean. So I just keep 100 with everybody. So you know what I mean. It's lovely. I'll probably be back out there. You going to MJ Biz? You're not into it like that, huh?
Which one is it?
It's the conference down in Vegas in 2 weeks.
No, probably not. No, no.
See, I'm
You
not
know,
on.
yeah. I'm just laying low out here in LA right now. Just taking it one day at a time out here in LA. You know, kind of just staying away from everything that has to do with the industry of all kinds. You know, but
Mhm.
just kind of just staying away from all that, man. That's always fared me well to steer clear of egos, you know, shenanigans and things like that. It's always fared me well. I mean, to come this far, to still be in the game. I've seen many rappers start with me and now they have full-time jobs. And I'm not like knocking that. I'm just saying that it takes it takes a while. It takes a certain type of perseverance to keep it going and not stop. And I've seen like venues go out of business. I've seen companies that were cracking 10, 15 years ago gone.
But you
So
know
it's like
what though?
when you survive the haters and when you survive, all of the pitfalls of the game, that's good when you get to the end.
You know how I always looked at it
Mm-hmm.
is in high school, how many men are on the varsity basketball team in the United States?
Mm-hmm.
And then you break it down to how many men are playing Division 1 college basketball. And then from Division 1, how many actually go pro? See
Yeah, that's
now,
true.
see now I tell that because now it's like you can go straight out of high school into the NBA. You can do this, you can do that. Like you don't have to go through those steps to get there. So there's a lot of like, oh, he's better than Michael Jordan, or he's this or he's that, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So or he's this and he's that, or he could dunk on this person, he can dunk on that person. Like, nah, he can't, man. And my point is some of those rappers wasn't meant to be rappers. They were meant to be rappers in high school, maybe in college, but not
Mm-hmm.
professional. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Would,
I feel the
would
same
you
way. I mean,
would you agree it's too would you agree it's too many of them out there?
well, I look at it like this. Uh,
With the access of home computers?
yeah, I look at it like this. There's two type of industries. There's there's two type of industries. There's mainstream and there's underground. And I always wanted to be with the underground. I never wanted to join the mainstream. So it just depends on what side you own. So a lot of people like fame, they like glamour, they like glitz, they like money, they like all of that kind of stuff. And they they see that they can get that from going the mainstream route. They don't think that they can get there by paying dues and going the old school route. So I'm from the old school. So the
Mm-hmm.
old school route was that you took the long way. You didn't sell your people out. You didn't sell your culture out. You didn't sell rap music out by taking the easy way out, by taking a deal, taking the quick way out. So kind of to answer your question, I'm getting there. Nowadays, there is no artist that um, are have paid dues, have taken the time to build out their career. A lot of them are instant successes, one hit wonders, people that are more dangerous to the industry than positive because back in the day, you could have 100 dudes go to the record company and all 100 would say, nah, we're not going to sell out our culture to get a record deal. The executive could say, we want all y'all to rap and put on clown suits and put makeup on and put on bozo noses. And everybody, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I'd be like, man, we ain't doing that, man. You crazy? Now you would probably get 15 people to say, I'll do it. So you can have 100 people that's like, go to the executive office and they all say, yo, no matter what he offers us, we're not going to sell out and we all gonna do this together. And yeah, and everybody say, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. As soon as they get in that door, 15 of them will say, I'll wear the monkey suit. I'll wear the
Mm-hmm.
bozo suit. I'll be the one that will give the negative images to reflect a bad image on our culture. And then the other 85 they throw out. So nowadays you got a lot of brothers that will sell out the culture and the black culture for money, and they do it so easy that it's just you can't even blink your eyes, and the next thing you look up, somebody is making black people look bad, whether it is through music, entertainment. Somebody says something crazy, and then again, we don't represent ourselves. We don't have any representation. So everything that we do is based on this mainstream idea, and not even underground. It's everybody wants to be on television. Everybody wants to be on a record label and not even understanding how any of that works. So it's unfortunate that my people, black people, are so
You know,
focused on the
you know
glam
what
and
it sound like? You know what it sounds like to me right there, what you just described?
what?
The cannabis business right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, bro,
everybody's
look at it like this. Burner, my boy. I fuck with Burner. Like we're not like friends as far as like personal friends. Um, I haven't spent a lot of time with him, but we're both from San Francisco, and I go back with Burner. I used to grab weed from Burner and on the club on 12th and Gary before he blew up. I would come in there, and I know his real name. I won't say his real name. What I used to call him when I would see him in the cannabis club when he used to work, and he'd see me and be like, "Hey, what's up, Selassie?" You know, we Frisconians, so he's my boy. But I just seen he was on a list for like the top 5 richest rappers, right? And I'm happy for that, and I'm saying that's dope and that's big that he made $410 million as a rapper representing the Bay Area. It was like Dr. Dre, Big Diddy, a whole bunch of people. So for him to be on the list of people who made millions of dollars from rap or whatever is pretty big. But they said he made $410 million, you know, from cookies and all that kind of stuff, which is dope. But then I sat back and I thought they never let a nigga in a million years make $410 million off marijuana. So exactly what you're saying, and then like so it's like Burner rap and shit like that, and we fuck with Burner, but we don't really know any of his music, so it's not like he could be really classified as like, um, you know, making a lot of money from music. I'm sure he does, but everybody knows that he's made a bulk of his money through the marijuana business, but they wouldn't. There's no brothers. And I'm speculating. Somebody could send me a message and be like, "You totally misinformed. Black people make millions of dollars on the marijuana industry." But as like everything else, we don't control a goddamn thing. We don't control anything. So anything in the marijuana business, we generally are buyers, and there's a very small
well,
percentage of people that are suppliers of
well,
it.
there's I know a few cats that's making some money in the
Mm-hmm,
marijuana business. You
mm-hmm,
know, even right there in LA.
mm-hmm,
But he's been, it's been a rough road. You know what I'm saying? And he
mm-hmm.
stayed true. Now he done lost some partners, he done gained some partners, and you know what I mean, the whole nine.
Right.
So you can make some money in the game. It's just that you got to have money to make money right now. And I tell him it's like so. Me and a lot of people will argue, right? So they'll be like, "Oh, they shutting the black people out of it."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see it that way, right?
Right.
Because it's preparation. So, like, we don't come together and buy land. I was just up on 13 acres and I tried to get man, I had the landlord lady like in the palms of my hand. The fucking roof was collapsing, that, but it wasn't I could have caught it. You know what I mean? The house needed another roof, and that was nothing because it was about the land, not the house. I didn't care about the house. You can build another house. So I'm in a position to where I can, you know what I mean, like squeeze this property out of this. I called my mother, I called my father, I called everybody that I knew that probably had houses and said, "Hey, let's all come together as a family and buy this property up here. I like living up here. We can put some cows, we can whatever you want to put up on here, chickens, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's ready for that." Then nobody want to come together. So that's what I'm saying. We wasn't prepared. And then look, COVID hit. Now we got to go and everybody this and that. We would have had a nice place to go to. We'd have had nice 13 acres with a well, running water, the whole nine, living off the land. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, just so
We
like you said, it's
so
deep. It gets deeper
so
because we don't own nothing. We don't have that
so that's my
mindset.
point. We don't own any of the warehouses over here. You know, it's not the fault that the Asians own it. You know, it's a couple brothers that lease, but they don't own. You know
It's
what I
not.
mean?
It's not anybody's fault. It's just more of I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're saying it. I'm just saying that that we are so far back by even getting any respect in any of these industries in any way. You know what I mean? Like we where our dollar is really not respected, it's just taken. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like as an African American, yeah, in America, like our dollar is not respected, it's just taken, you know. So it's the same thing with the marijuana business. It's like the cannabis business. I know that there's people of color and players in the game, no doubt, but I remember like even just it coming up, it was like hard for brothers to get in. I remember like even before 2017 when it became legal,
And
it
then
was hard for brothers to get into the game.
I tell you what Bernard did too, man, is he was smart on the licensing. He licensed that
Yes.
cookie and branded that cookies.
Right,
So that's like,
from something in the streets of the Bay,
yeah,
because we
yeah,
was
yeah,
all there living it. You know, like you said,
yeah.
he seen something that was popular in the streets,
Boom,
and then he branded it and did his thing.
branded it cookies
So,
and ran with it. And that's what it is. It
it's
don't
not
matter.
it's not that they won't let a brother do that. It's not that. It's just that you know there's it's that yeah, like it's
Sometimes you get luck up, man. Sometimes you luck up.
yeah, yeah. It's
You know
not
what I
like they
mean?
won't let a brother do that, but
No. Sometimes you
it'd be
some
kind of I just can't see in America that they'll have a brother that made $410 million on a pot industry and with marijuana base. They would try to get him in the feds. They try to
but
wrap him
see,
up on a case, all kind of shit.
yeah, but see, I don't think it's not the bud. It's the brand. It's how much each brand is pulling in.
Right,
So
you
you
know
got
why I even brought up that article is because it was an article that it was like the top 5 rappers, right? And that was the thing, like
yeah, yeah,
first
yeah. But see, yeah, he ain't
he's a
making no
rapper,
money
but
off
he's
a
also
rapper.
a huge businessman. He's a rapper, but he's a businessman too. You know what I
So
mean?
they putting two entities together.
Exactly. That was really why I brought it up because it was more of like that they said who was the top 5 rappers that are like a billionaire or like a millionaire made millions with it, and he was there. And a shout out to Burner.
Well,
And I saw
who else was on that list?
it was like Dre.
Okay,
It was
with
like
Dre ain't
Dre.
did
But I'm talking about like
Dre
with straight money though. So it was like the top 5 rappers
with
that like really are
Dre
like the
made all his
richest.
money off. Look, Dre made his money off of beats. So
Right, exactly. So it was other
a
entities, not
different
just rap.
brand, yeah. So
But what I'm saying is just going back to kind of spinning it back, like what we were saying earlier. Like so the mainstream industry is jacked up. The mainstream is insane. As you see what they're doing to these young brothers, killing them, taking their publishing. You know, because my motto is that you better off you're more valuable to them dead than alive in the mainstream industry. They'd rather have you dead because they don't even have to deal with you. They can take all your money and put all your stuff. And so that's that. That mainstream industry is a whole nother monster. God bless that we even have the independent market where we could be independent and we could do our own thing and have our fans and all that. Because if you're trying to get into that mainstream, you getting into a whole nother world.
mm-hmm.
But then a lot of rappers want the mainstream because they want the fame. They want to be on television. They want the radio, and they'll do anything for that. And that is a detriment to the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
It's a
well,
detriment to the culture especially if you use it negative. And you know, to today's media,
they need to
they
smoke more
only
weed.
promote anything. They promote things negative. They don't promote anything positive.
When have they? They just need to smoke some more weed, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Get off the other narcotics, smoke you some herb, and that's it, and that's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that the herb is good. You know, definitely helps me. You know, it definitely helps me. It helps everybody. I think it's a healing thing. I think it's something that can bring more people together. I, um, I hope that it don't. I don't hope it doesn't get. I hope it doesn't get politicized. You know, and has things messed up. But yeah,
They need to just go ahead and let that hemp flow through, let them get their money, and regulate cannabis in such matters that they do, uh, uh, alcohol. Because see, and like they say in the prohibition, cannabis is when they punish the users. They don't punish the users for drinking alcohol. You know, only when you do it and you put other people at risk. Driving drunk, have a designated driver, take a taxi. You know what I mean? The whole nine. But you can sit there and get drunk and shit at your house. Don't be drunk in public. You can be drunk at your house. Go on in the house somewhere. You know what I mean? That's what you paid for. You got your own club. They do that to cannabis, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think that you know,
Just
I
like you
think it's
don't be just like you don't really walk down the street. How many people you really see walking down the street drinking alcohol? You don't see people just driving down, walking down the street drinking alcohol. So you're not just gonna be walking down the street, what I mean, just smoking. If you
yeah,
make it a
it's a very interesting subject, the marijuana, or the cannabis, and all I can say really is that not all I can say, but just to your subject, I do love the advancements that it's taking on, how it's come from 1996 to here. It's been really, really something to see the advancements of that, and
what about now? Let me ask you this.
I look forward to keep seeing it grow.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. When did you start smoking? What year?
Um, I say about 1996, 1997.
96, 97. So they still
Yeah,
had some.
I was about 19 because I always grew up with weed,
Yeah.
but I didn't smoke any.
Now, would you
You know,
say the weed back then was a little bit stronger and better than it is now?
no, I say the weed back then was like it was like dirt weed, and
Oh,
like you
you
were
was
lucky
getting.
to get green weed. I remember us
Oh,
getting green
you.
weed.
Oh, I was the lucky one then because I've been getting green weed since like '93. So
Well, we would get this is what we would do when I was in London. We would get dirt weed, but
Bammer.
My boy Tyrese, his dad was like a big baller in Oakland. So when we was in SAC and we would drive down to Oakland a few times a week, or maybe like a week every weekend, we go meet Reese's dad, and Reese's dad would give us like that light green from Oakland on 80th and East 14th, and we would go get that light green. And back in the day, it was them big old tin sacks in the
Yeah.
package, them huge tin sacks that
Yeah.
was straight light green. And to keep it
Yeah.
real,
Fluffy. Shit was sticky as shit.
yeah, and to keep it real, I still have not had that kind of weed all this
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
I still have not had that weed I used to get back in East Oakland that they used to call light green. I
Yeah,
still
that
ain't seen.
light. That's that light. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, a lot of that shit back then. You know why? Because
Yeah,
I'm a grower, right? So I have my own theories, and then at this conference that we had for the California Growers Association, there's an old white dude outside, right? He like Santa Claus. We were sitting up there. I was smoking my black and mild. He was smoking his cigarette. Then
uh-huh.
I don't know how we started talking, but we just started talking. And I asked him. I said, "Man, I to me it seems like the weed was much stronger back in the mid '90s. You know what I mean? Early '90s, mid '90s than it is now. Am I?" And he told me. He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, why is that?" He said, "Because back then we had pure genetics and we were growing from seeds. There was no clones. So
Hmm.
as over the years, people have taken clones and clones and clones and weakened down the genetics. Even though if you breed that seed to like a fourth generation cut of a clone, you still getting you know what I mean? A
That
fourth
makes a lot of
gener.
sense. Yeah.
So the lot. So like it wasn't this hardball, man. We had that. Like being me, I had you for Frisco. I had Black C on last week, and we was talking about Bammer,
Oh, cool.
and we was
Shout out
talking
to
about
Black Sea, man.
yeah, we was talking about the weed. Not like, look, I'm gonna do it just like I did last week. I picked the weed up, The weed we used to have, you go like this and let it go, and the shit still be stuck to your fingers, still be stuck to your hands.
I
This shit
remember that.
drop, fall, break, you know what I mean? Oh, brittle. Like, so I wish I could find some land races like that to bring it back. Oh my God. You talking about being a millionaire. If we had some of that in the jar right now, millions.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you heard me? I said, if we had that in the jar right now, what you had back there, that light, millions.
Even that, even like Nade too, because I'm from the city, and back in the day we had Nade. So Nade was like it's like some Canadian weed or something. I don't know where that shit was from, but no matter what,
So
nobody tell you, Nade originated in Potrero Hill.
nah. So we got Huey in there. He said, pretty sure your tolerance was just lower back then. Nah, Huey. So let me tell you something about the herb back then. You know what I mean? Like he said, it was all from seeds that we was getting. A lot of that stuff was outdoor, strong, and them people knew how to grow their stuff, you know, that we was getting from Humboldt and stuff like that, because nobody was really growing indoor back then. They hadn't forced everybody indoors yet. You know what I mean? Um,
Would you
so
make me another one of those?
so to answer your question, Huey, the song I Got Five on it came on, right? So that's what he's saying. I got five, he got five. But let me tell you this: in some parts, if it was four people all put $5 in on one blunt, and all four people will be high for about 4 5 hours, bro. Like the high would last so much longer. You know what I mean? When you agree, Celeste?
Yeah, I remember back in the day. I mean, and then too, you got a trip. We was younger, and our tolerance wasn't the highest. You know what I mean? I remember
Shit.
we wouldn't even
Speak
smoke.
for Hey, speak for yourself, boy. Like I say, man, we was big blowing over here. We
I
was big
wasn't. I
blowing.
mean, not like that. I'm gonna keep it real. Early when we was starting, like when I was really starting, I
Big
remember we
blowing.
would just like have a blunt, and we could
Boy,
just like
look.
pass around a blunt.
Hey,
And
look, let
then
me tell you.
we went from like an eighth. I remember an eighth was like huge. To get like a quarter or something was like out of this world. So I just like
Yeah,
the early '90s when we was coming up smoking and stuff. But I remember like
yeah.
getting an eighth was like a big deal, and I remember like eighths. It seemed like 3.5 was different than it is today, but
Yeah, that 3.5 lasted you.
yeah, it seemed like it was different back in the day than what it was today. It was like it held up the whole bag. Like now it's like a
Yeah.
little thing, but maybe they have recalibrated the scales or something like that. But yeah, it was way different. I remember you would get an eighth. It just looked different. So yeah, so I remember my smoking came more heavy when the more trauma. Because my theory is this: that's why people smoke. That's why we smoke. That's why people do drugs. That's why they abuse drugs, because of the pain that they have. So I started smoking weed because I remember I broke up with my girlfriend Bianca, and I never had broke up with nobody like that. I was 19, and she was moving to like a boarding
Did she
school.
break up with you, or did you break up with her?
She like
Or
broke
was
up
it
with me, but only reason why is because she was moving to like a boarding school. She was like moving to a boarding school in New Jersey. Was like I
I
mean
gotta
I
hear
remember
this?
being like 17, and like that was like, or like no, I was 19 and she was 17, 18, something like that. But she was like a year and a half younger than me. But she went to Kennedy, and I dropped out or whatever. But she was my girlfriend. But so she was ready to move on with her life. She was like really rich, and her parents were well off, and they wanted to send her
And
to
she
a
left
boarding
you home,
school.
and you
They,
just smoke weed to cope
yeah,
with
they
the
wanted to send her to a
leaving.
boarding school. I was really heartbroken, and sometimes I think I'm still strong enough that I would have never did any hard drugs. But I remember my boys came to pick me up, and they was like, "You want to smoke?" And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll smoke." But I had grew up with weed like my whole life, so it wasn't like I wasn't like mystified with weed. It's like all my cousins had it. All my mom smoked weed. I got her weed jar to this day that she had when I was a kid. So she always smoked weed, and it was always around her and my cousin Dira, my aunt Sherry. Every time they hung, they smoked weed. So that wasn't new to me. So, but 19, I was decided, fuck it, I'll have a puff because I was upset. So, and then from there, smoking weed became a coping mechanism to deal with trauma, to deal with pain. And I think everybody deals with that. That's why weed is so popular because, yeah, you like the herb and shit like that, but everybody is dealing with pain and trauma and it numbs the pain. That's why people really smoke. If you really trip, I mean, it's why do you do anything? I'm a kind of person like that's why I don't drug abuse at all, or I've never done any drugs because, in my mind, if I would do anything, it's because I want to do it. So I'll do anything if I want to do it. But if I don't want to do it, I won't do it. So like with weed, it's like the reason why I smoke it. I know why I smoke it. I don't just smoke it because it's like a fad. I smoke it because it helps with my trauma, and I think it does that for a lot of people.
So what's your strain of choice to go to that helps you the most? You an indica man, hybrid, or sativa?
Yeah, I like indica. I'm not too big on the hybrids. I don't be knocking them, but I either go either sativa or indica, and I do like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of indicas. Um, my I guess my favorite strain on the planet in the world is Northern Lights,
Northern
and you
Lights.
can't find Northern Lights anywhere. But I had a guy that had it in Orange County, and it was the best weed on the planet. But and
You
then
know what? So you know what the chronic
yeah,
the
the
chronic.
chronic, yeah.
You know what that's really mixed. That's Northern Lights and Skunk Number One.
Mm.
That's what the chronic is.
Northern Lights, man. I had this guy. He had this Northern
Yeah,
Lights.
GDP is cool. You
Oh yeah, yeah. I like GDP. Yeah, yeah. Granddaddy Purple. The real. I'm kind of like smoking on some of that right now. I got some. Got a good. It's like real Granddaddy.
mm-hmm. You know
But
I'm
yeah,
old.
that's why niggas smoke weed. That's why every nigga you see smoking weed because
Well,
he's traumatized.
I done broke my shit down to a science. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like everybody ain't been fortunate to go behind different doors that I was fortunate to go behind. But
Right.
at an early age of me starting to learn to grow and whatnot, I learned about terpenes. And the terpenes is what really determines what your high is going to be. It has nothing to do with the THC or even the CBD. The terpenes are the essential oils that's in the plant. That's what
Right.
gives it its aroma. That's what gives it taste, and that's what gives it effect. So the
Ain't nothing
higher,
like weed.
huh?
Ain't nothing like weed. That's why people
Yeah.
smoke it so much.
So if you do your homework like really on terpenes and you break the weed down on the terpene aspect of what you're really getting, you can go in and know what you're getting before you get it. And if that grower, you know, took his time and did what he gonna do, you're gonna get the effect. That's one thing that I seen that every plant that I grew, I didn't care what it looked like. I did nothing. As long as when it broke down and went in a zigzag or my blunt or whatever or my pipe, the effect that it was supposed to give me, it gave me. You know what I'm saying? So and that was credited to them
Hey,
terpenes, breaking down them terpene profiles.
yeah.
So if you really want to get scientific on it and really find you can guess and be like, oh, let me try this or let me try this, or you can really go in there and look at the terpene profiles and actually go in there and pick out that strain of choice and know it's going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that one barbecue sauce. Well, I know I like tangy. I know I like this. I like that. They got all that in there. Yep, give me that. And you already gonna know that's gonna be the one for you.
Yeah. When I deal with my trauma fully, I'll probably stop smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, because that's why I smoke it. I mean, other than that. But I think it's good because I just sometimes I think about what would people do if they didn't have weed and to deal with their pain. It would be something else. I know I can't imagine what that is. But that's a good title of a song. What else would it be or something like that? Like where weed is gone, but you gotta rely on something else. What would it be? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. I mean, I'm just chilling, just thugging it out, just living and dying, living and dying in LA. I'm just chilling, one day at a time, chilling. And yeah,
Yeah.
my man said there would be more violence and more drunk. Oh yeah, for sure. If there wasn't weed, oh my god.
Gosh, I
But
don't
I
know.
figured it
You
out.
know, I kind of thought about that earlier. If it wasn't no weed,
If it wasn't no weed, what would people or what would brothers? I was just speaking specifically for brothers because when I think,
I I I think real talk. I started off a heavy drinker, and then
Mhm,
I don't even drink no more. Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I can go out
I
to
was
a
never
bar,
really
go
big
out,
on drinking.
you know,
Yeah.
and not even drink.
I'm a social drinker, but not like
I don't even think I can go back to drinking.
when I'm
Like
by
if I didn't
myself.
have any
I don't
weed,
even drink. I like that's probably keeping me alive because I don't drink.
and then
But
they
when at
taking
least
all
when I'm
the
by myself,
tobacco away, so you couldn't go no tobacco. I started off on beaties.
yeah, I remember them nasty ass beaties. That
Maybe
shit.
I'll go back to beaties
Well,
if it
no, I
wasn't no
mean,
weed.
I started smoking hella shit late. That's probably why.
Hey, what the fuck was in beaties?
Who the fuck knows?
We used to
I
call
don't
them
know.
like Indi- We used to call that shit like Indian weed or
Yeah,
some
well, it was
shit.
like an Indian thing. Yeah, I still remember it
Maybe,
being. It
hey,
was
do you think
nasty.
maybe? Hey, some of them that strawberry one was bomb. I don't know what you talking about.
I still
It was
know
straw.
what this. I
It,
still can imagine that
it was.
smoke. I still can like
Yeah.
feel it going in my lungs.
It
That
might have
nasty.
been. It might have been like that hookah shit that the motherfuckers
It
is
might have been
smoking
that. It might have been that back
in a
then.
different form,
It might.
huh?
I think it might have been like insect. Man, that beady will make me
It
barf.
wasn't no
Please don't
fucking
talk about that
instant.
beady.
Hey,
That
I
beady will
remember.
make me throw up.
Hey, them motherfuckers will give you a head rush quick to the some.
But I
Woo.
just remember being young doing that. That was like I'm an OG now. I remember being young. That was when I was young and healing that shit. I remember when I was young doing that, the beaties and having tampas and shit like that. That's
Yeah.
why I was like, people be like Black Miles. I was like, man, I was smoking having tampas when your ass wasn't even born. That
Yeah.
wood stick, you know what I'm saying? So I was been
Yeah.
smoking that shit. But but yeah, man, I stopped all that tobacco shit. Sometimes I smoke a blunt or a grab a leaf,
Uh.
but generally I just smoke weed. I just smoke papers.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You know, yeah.
Why,
But
brother? I ain't gonna hold you up no more, man. Shit, it's about time to wrap it up anyway. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
yeah, you too, my brother. I'm glad to be on your program, man. Congratulations on your program, and I'll
Yeah, we
definitely
just
look to
trying to.
tap back in with you when I get something going.
Yeah, we definitely trying to get this Shasha money. Like I want you to go back because you carry that Dame Selassie. So I want you to go back and watch the first episode. If I gotta
Hmm.
send you the link,
I
it's
will.
it's two segments. So it's one where Zion is on her way to Shashamani in Ethiopia. So you get to see the travel there. And then the second part is her there arriving. Um, One of the brothers greeting us outside, telling us a little story about how they burnt down the church and stuff. And this is the grounds where Bob Marley went to go get baptized into Rastafari.
Oh, word.
So we got to speak to Ras Kabinda, who's one of the priests over there now, and me, I had him cracking up. We had a little time after, but he spit some stuff in there, so it was kind of cool, man, to check it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure,
Because
man.
that name that you carry, that brother made sure that those people had that over there when they was all in the war. Make sure they had 250 acres, and now they call it Shasha money. But now it's starting to get overpopulated, and they're going through some stuff over there.
Yeah, Selassie was an interesting brother. He claimed lineage from the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon,
Mm-hmm.
and Menelik. Menelik is his descendant. Yeah, he's interesting, but a lot of people forget that Selassie was from Ethiopia,
Yeah.
and that's in Africa, and he is associated with Jamaica, which is so I look at it more like the Jamaicans in Jamaica adopted Haile
No,
Selassie. Um,
well,
as far
well,
as
well,
that's concerned, but a lot of you could ask a lot of people, and they'll think that it originated in Jamaica, but it's actually African, and so that's
well,
that's
well,
my
well.
thing.
From my understanding, with speaking to the brother over there, is that during the slavery and the slave trade,
Mm-hmm.
that's where a lot of them were dropped off, and they continue to practice Rastafari in
Right,
Jamaica, and then
for
that's
sure.
where, and then some went back, and then that was during the time where um, Marcus Garvey tried to come with the Black Line and had the
Mm-hmm.
ships to take everybody back and whatnot. You know what I mean? So there was some people that actually returned home to Shashemonie, you
Uh-huh.
know, and Benda, who I spoke to, is one of them. So there's a lot of other elders that have passed away that returned back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
he finally came back. He's been back for 30 years.
word. Yeah, because
So
a
that's
lot
why
of times they get because people they don't know that um
the
that
Rastafaris come from Ethiopia.
right.
Shashamani.
It's
Yeah.
more associated with Jamaica because, like, quite frankly, Bob Marley and reggae music made it more popular, made it more mainstream. But Rastafari
Hmm.
has been around a long time and
Yeah.
have been following the ways of Selassie for a long time before it became mainstream. But Bob Marley, the Wailers, and Peter Tosh and the old school reggae guys made it. You could call it mainstream to make it
Hmm.
to where people even cared about it at first. I remember seeing an article, hearing a radio interview about somebody talking about Bob Marley in 1978, and he was not what he was today. You know what I'm saying? They called him like a pot smoking demagogue. So you know what I'm saying. So but he did a lot to popularize Rastafarian culture, and then him coming from Jamaica was also, I'm sure, a nail in the a good contributing factor why people associated you know Rastafarians with just Jamaica, but not taking the origins that they come from Africa, from Ethiopia.
Hmm.
Because Cats was wearing dreads, Samson was wearing dreads. That's
I wish
biblical,
I
and that was in Africa.
I wish I can get Zion on right now because that's
No,
what
yeah,
she's.
it'd be interesting to talk to him, man. But
No, not her, not her. I mean, not him.
her.
Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excuse me.
Zion, if you're watching, tap in
No, it's but yeah,
because that's because that's
just
what
before
this
we
whole because that's what
yeah
this
just
whole thing is about. She actually went over there to get the blessings of Shashamani, and what they got going on to bring it back to the states and start it here. So she's
mhm.
bringing back more than the cannabis. She's bringing back teff. Are you familiar with what teff is?
No, not off the top.
She's been rapping and raving about it. I got to be honest. I got to do my homework a little bit more on it. You know what I mean? But she's so like strung on that, and so I got to do my homework. She brought me over here for cannabis, so I'm trying to do my cannabis first. But I've been listening to her on this teff product. That she went over there getting the teff seeds, and like I said, got the blessings, and it made much more sense on why she's doing it over here. So I'm like,
Well,
I'm really
now the
down.
cannabis industry is in danger as well because it's a $1 trillion, $1 billion business. So anytime you have all that kind of money, because quite frankly, to see the growth of everything in the last 5 years since 2017 is absolutely incredible. To the point to where I'm going to
And
go study law to be a marijuana attorney, a medical marijuana attorney. So it's a brand new field. It's a brand new horizon. It's a brand new um, industry, and it is the wild wild west. Because I'm knee deep in the cannabis industry on the entertainment side, but also knowing some big players in the game. and it's wild west with distributors, products, everything. It is a whole new world. So not just black or brown, because there are black and brown people and pieces in the industry like everything else, but we could find our ourselves trapped or locked out of it, or not getting the huge benefits of it, just like everything else. So that's not like a surprise in what I'm saying. I mean, that is how it is. Minority people, people less than the have-nots, get locked out of
Hey,
the huge opportunities
if
that
you're not,
come from
well, you know what?
anything.
Hey,
And I
look, check
see that
this out.
marijuana industry as well.
If you're not the house, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and play your cards right.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you
But
can
like
play
you
your
say,
card, and if you can
you
play
can
your
get in when
cards right,
you can
yeah,
get in
you
when
ain't
you
gonna,
can get in. You can get in when you fit in. You can do some underground marijuana.
you ain't gonna never break the house. Just like you wouldn't want nobody to come in your house and break you.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
you
So
can't break the house.
you can't break the house. So as
If you
long as
live in,
if there's $1 trillion,
yeah,
man, all I need is you know what I mean, a billion out of that,
you
a
can't
500 million,
can't
four
break the
hundred
house.
million. You
Can't
know what
break
I'm
the house,
saying?
bro. There you
So
go.
you don't go in there trying to be greedy like this, that. Just find your corner, find your
But
product, find your this,
there,
post
I
up.
think there is progress. I think there is progress. Without no struggle, there is no progress, and that is
Mm-hmm.
from Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, it's still a little struggle going on in it, but they working out the kinks.
Without
You
no
know.
struggle, there is no progress. So we'll get
Mm-hmm.
there. But yeah, I'm not knocking anybody, and I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm just saying that I always preach this. I always preach us owning stuff, us having our own, us doing our own thing. Even not just black people or a specific color, but poor people or people that are have-nots. Like to figure out, because I'm a have-not, so I come from the have-not. So I'm always trying to figure out a way of trying to have something that we can own and we can have from our own, individually and collectively. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we can learn how to get that. Because right now it doesn't, it's lopsided. You have 89% of African Americans smoking weed, but maybe 1.2% of the people owning the farms. So it's just like the football team. You got 75% black people on the football field, and you have no black football owners. You
Yeah.
got 80% black people on the basketball field, and there's only one basketball
Well,
owner, which is Michael Jordan.
well, like I said, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. You know what I mean? I had the opportunity to get 13 acres, and you know what I mean. I can testify to that nobody wanted
I
to
hope
come in and pitch in. You know what I'm
that
saying?
sucks. Yeah,
So
and that's a deeper
so
thing
it
too. But
yeah, so it be opportunities, but sometimes you know what I mean. I don't know what it is, like you know what I mean. I remember they used to have me go and speaking down like at city council and city hall, and the first time they passed this cannabis thing here, equity, they was like, "Oh, we got $1 million," and everybody started clapping. Well, I went up and speak. I was like, "Well, look, I'm gonna tell you this: $1 million ain't nothing." You know what I'm saying? Like we need more than that to get this party going. Like $1 million is probably just barely enough for one person to get an operation going. You know what I mean?
yeah, we'll figure it out. I appreciate the talk tonight, man. Thank you for letting me be on your podcast. Let's get it in.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. So Emerald Cup, what date is it? Let the people know what date it is.
December 10th, December 11th, Saturday and Sunday in the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds in Santa Rosa, California. Get
Catch
your
my man.
tickets. Go to the Emerald Cup on Instagram or go check them out on their website. And again, shouts out to Tim Blake. Shouts out to the whole staff. Shouts out to everybody having me, Catherine, all the big dogs. And thank you so much. And thank you again for having me on your show tonight, brother. Medical Montana,
Pleasure.
and continue blessings with your show and you trying to get deeper in the game in the cannabis.
Trying to, man. Trying to, man. It was a pleasure, man. I
Pleasure, brother.
appreciate you, brother.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right now.
One love.
One love. All right, y'all. I think that concludes it. My blunt is gone. Spent 2 hours, 10 minutes. We learned about Jack Herrera. We had a good conversation with my brother right there, one of the hosts at the Emerald Cup and a talented MC. And as you can tell, it's just a well spoken brother, man. You know what I mean? So, been knowing him for a minute. You know, I always stay tapped in. I want y'all to stay tapped in. We had a couple more viewers come in. Thank you for joining. I think we had what Huey. Huey was in the comments. Appreciate that, brother. We're gonna have some dope shows. We tried to get the Hop to come in with a little bit of consciousness for some of the people that I deal with. I couldn't make it down to the show tonight, so I tried to incorporate them. But they put on a good show down here where they have conscious brothers come and sisters come down and do open mic. Well, not even open mic because they don't just sign up. Like these cats is, they be up there spitting they bars. You know what I mean? It's like some real deaf poetry comedy jam going on up there. You know what I mean? So, maybe we can get the internet a little bit better down there. We can get them to come in every once in a while on Thursdays. I think they do it every first Thursday. So I think they're putting together a toy drive. We got to work on that. So yeah, check out Shashemonie420.com. Make sure you tune in there. We got this holiday event going on here in South Sacramento. Don't quote me on the address, but off of Florin Road, we're going to be having turkeys. We got hams. We got the fixins. We're working on shoes and toys for the kids. You know what I mean? We coming back, giving back to the community. It's going to be real big. Trying to work on some Christmas trees for, what I mean, some of the families. So not that you can't go buy the Christmas tree, but if we can help you to save money and, you know what I mean, or take that money and put it somewhere else, put it on a bill, you know what I mean? Holidays come up and, we get behind on our bills because we don't want our kids to not going without having, or, even if they Christmas present is a coat, you know what I mean? We might have one for you. So check the website. We're going to be posting more flyers. We got one coming. We're going to be posting that all through social media. But we're going to add some more stuff to it. So be on the lookout. Shashemonie420, Shashemonie Micro Business, and the Shashemonie Institute. We're doing a lot of good things over here behind the scenes. It's coming together. So be aware. We're coming. Thank you for signing in. Good night.